Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and today I'm bringing you a Chiron God Guide. That's right, the original God Guides is back with a new episode on Chiron. You see his abilities here. I'll be walking you through each one of them, so don't worry. This is going to go down off the screen in just a moment. You can pause your screen if you want to watch these and just take a look and read them through so you're like really aware of what Chiron does. But please don't worry, I'll be walking you through all of them. I'll be walking you through my build, how to play him. What I really find is just dominating in both Arena, Clash, and all these other game modes, and how to build him. And then I'll be giving you all of my tips, tricks, and review basically of this god over the last couple of days. I've already got him mastered almost at level 2. And so I played a lot of games with him and really been looking to create this video for you guys, something that had entertaining gameplay and really showcased Chiron's skills and abilities to the T from what I was looking at. So this video had it all, so I'm excited for you guys to be seeing it. Now, if you do want to see some hype commentary, you can kind of go to the end. If you know all about Chiron and you just want to see some good commentary and a great finish of a game, you know, the ending is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. As you see, I go ahead into Thor there, knocking him back, and you see the tier getting a great knockback to a bunch of teammates. In my training exercise, look at all the damage there. I'm trying to go ahead onto the Bacchus, but he just looks like he's gonna be avoiding all this damage, and I'm taking too much minion fire, so I have to use my dash to get on out. Giddy up, boy. Get on out of there. So I have a decent start. Our team looking pretty nice. We're aggressive. Again, this is our team from Rainstorm. Our tag is Rains. This is the clan I just started. So if you guys want to play Smite with me, come on and join. It's open joining for the first 50 members. So if you guys do want to do that, come on and join. I think there's about 15 more slots right now. And it's kind of been going quickly ever since I've started announcing it on YouTube. So definitely come and join. We'd love to have you. Very fun and friendly guys. You see the Ares pull here onto the Bacchus, the Bastet, and the Soul, but they use their beads, two of them, but it doesn't matter because I'm there for the Bastet. She gets away from my basic attacks, but I turn into my Centaurus form and take her out with a long-range shot. Now the Thor is there, and he's trying to block me off, but he's positioned a little awkwardly, and I'm able to dash by. The Aphrodite gives me some amazing heals, and let's get into what Chiron does, guys, because we've been commentating, and now let's talk about Chiron, because Chiron is the new god. Chiron is so good. I love it. He is one of my favorite hunters, and the reason I think is because his kit is so simple to play, and it's so easy. There's nothing complicated about it, but the idea is that you go ahead and you have a god that comes into the foyer of Smite's god, arena package, and you have all of these gods to choose from, and this new god comes out, and he's not a complicated god. He's not a god that's blowing people's minds by just like, wait, what? How does that work? He's a god that has a big circular damage ability. He's got a number 2 that basically just flies to enemies after you hit him with a basic attack. He's got a dash that knocks enemies back, and that you can also basic attack during. And then he's got an ultimate that turns him into a big constellation, and he fires these long arrows. And if he gets killed during that ultimate, he can actually kill someone and revive within his 3 shots. So if he does that and kills someone, he'll actually be revived after that if he dies during his ultimate. So it's pretty cool, pretty straightforward, and not a lot of like hoopla, right? I have no mana here, so I'm heading back. But the one thing that's also really interesting is that Chiron has this healing component to him in his passive, which I think also makes him really strong in lane with other opponents, with other teammates who can heal. You see, we have an Aphrodite on this team, and she was providing some great healing for us during this game. And Chiron, what his passive does is you see these little they're not 4-leaf clovers, they're more like 3-leaf things. I don't know what they are, but they're called poultices. And every time he, basically over time, he gains a poultice over 12 seconds. Now this is his passive called poultice, herbal medicine actually. And as he gains these poultices, it basically increases his healing by 10% for each poultice. So it basically, Aphrodite's healing me for 100, right? If I have 3 poultices up, she's healing me for 130 instead, because I'm getting 30% extra healing. That's basically how it works. You see here, I'm going ahead and firing onto the soul, applying those stacks with my basic attack, those little targeters, which actually help for my number 2 to go ahead and finish off. Now you see my number 1 there, I go ahead and fire onto the Chang'e close to me, and I realized just looking at that there was a Thor in the background. I could have fired my ability on and maybe stayed alive, but as you saw there, I chose kind of the wrong secondary target, and unfortunately, I was given life again because I killed someone, but I was quickly killed there. And as you can see, that's kind of the rub with it. When you use it defensively like that, what happens is you get revived with his ultimate based on how much damage you dealt to the person you killed. So if you take someone from half life down and kill them with your Centaurus form, then you'll actually get about half life back. But if you take someone down from like 0 life, 100 life, and you die, you'll come back to life with about 100 life. And so if you're in a bad situation, it's kind of like Khepri's ult. Even if Khepri ults you and puts you back into Khepri, if you guys are still in the middle of the enemy team, you're still going to die. So that's kind of the thing with Centaurus. The other aspect of his ultimate, Centaurus, is that he actually, as you see, I get dunked on here by Thor, he actually he stops moving. He can move when he's firing his ultimate, like kind of regularly, but when he dies, he actually has to stand in place. So it may catch you off guard if you're thinking you can back up a little bit, but then all of a sudden you die. You're thinking you have a couple shots to survive and to kill someone and then survive, and you do, but you actually can't move anymore once you're dead. So that's just kind of one of the rubs I found that caught me off guard for a while. I was like, why am I standing still? I don't get it. But that's one of the things to notice. And one of the things I found, just because we're talking about his ultimate now, I think it's a great ability to talk about, is that I really find it best to use offensively and use aggressively. I really don't find a lot of opportunities where I'm taking someone defensively down from, a reasonable chunked, size of health, maybe 40-50%. They're battling me and I'm down real low, and I pop my ultimate. I don't see myself, and I've played a couple games with Chiron. I don't really ever see myself taking that player all the way down and like turning the tides and then being revived with 50% health and then being dead. As you see here, I lay my training exercise and get a basic attack kill onto the Jotunn, putting me in a pretty good position here. I've been kind of sneaking a lot of these kills. I've been talking, but I've really got a lot of kills right now. And it's kind of surprising. Chiron can do that just because of his presence with those targeters. And you see my Centaurus, I've gotten a lot of kills with that as well. The Soul is there, but she's doing a good job of avoiding everyone. But the Kali does a great job of actually the Tyr does a great job of following up the Kali stun. As you see the Thor getting into the air ulting, and I think we're all going to pull back into safety here. He decides not to go on us, but yeah, the Bluestone Pendant actually killed, it looks like, who was it? The Soul in Tyr's little dash. I forget what it's called, but he basically where Tyr, CCs someone in his dash and knocks them up and then tosses them into a direction. Basically, I killed him with the Bluestone Pendant CC, damage over time, which is really, really good. Really, really good. I mean, you see it happening here when I'm hitting people with my area training exercise. Look at all the ticking damage that just starts to happen onto the enemies. I hit all of them with a giddy up, and look at that yellow burst of damage there. This team has basically been annihilated by a couple of abilities in a row, and they're all grouped up. I mean, this is Chiron's dream. Just group up a couple of enemies, knock them all back into your teammates. I mean, apply Bluestone twice, and the damage is real, guys. And you can see why Bluestone is so effective on him, because he's got these big abilities. He's got these kind of abilities that aren't very single target. They're very group abilities. You can hit a lot of people with a basic attack and then apply your number 2. You can also hit a lot of people with training exercise. You can dash through a bunch of people with his number 3. His number 4 can go through walls and enemies, so you can hit multiple people with that. I mean, you have so many ways to apply Bluestone onto multiple enemies in Chiron's kit that it is really a good thing to pick up here. You see I'm using my my number 4 Centaurus again to get the kill onto the Bastet, and you see me there with a Rampage. The Jotunn God doing a great job actually finishing off our Aphrodite with a basic attack. Very, very nice play by the Jotunn God, coming up a little aggressively, but it paid off for her. And you see this game kind of going back and forth here. We're up by 12, 12-11, 12-10. Now we're 12-11 in kills. They're up a little bit in terms of minion kills. I'm being very cautious because the Thor's in the air. Don't want to get dunked on, and so I'm waiting here and just basically having my my teammates go ahead and take that fight while I decide to secure this middle enemy Titan here, who I do not want to go into our base. And back to kind of Chiron and kind of what he does. With my abilities, I've been leveling up my number 1 first because I feel that it applies a really good follow-up and really, really good, like, just surprise burst damage here. As you see, I'm kind of not in a good situation, but my teammates are supporting me. The Aphrodite is here, and the Ares ult comes out, which is great. You see my training exercise there. Again, applying a lot of burst damage. The Thor going onto me in the back line, using, I think, his movement ability and his spin there, so it's not really working out for him, but I go ahead and giddy up, apply that damage to Thor, looking like he's going to get away. A great throw through the wall, but Kali, she can jump too, buddy. She's going after you, and I go ahead and take these minions out while I see, hey, the Kali stuns and takes down the Thor. Actually, the Thor tried to stun Kali, but didn't really work, and she goes ahead and takes him out. And now I'm 8-1, which is pretty amazing. As you see, this has kind of been a silent game, but I am 8-1 here with Chiron. And just showing, again, his power. And trust me, it's not over, guys. It's not. There's a lot more to be happening here. As you see the Aphrodite getting aggressed on by the Thor and doing a good job there. Because you're seeing a lot of training exercises, number one, let's talk about that. Training exercise is number one is a circular damaging ability. It's pretty straightforward. And you see here, I'm going ahead trying to take on the Bastet, but I do not get her. She does a great jump away and dashes to the side, and so I'm not able to pick her up with my ultimate there. But again, you see me use it aggressively to try and pick up those long-range kills, which I find is the best way to do it. But again, training exercise is a great ability to level up first because, A, you'll get a lot of minions easily. You'll really help clear the wave. As a hunter, that's always really nice to be able to do. Not a lot of hunters have as good wave clear as Chiron. From what I've seen so far in-game, you see a crit coming out from the Changa, a great pull from the Ares, and getting hit with my training exercise doesn't even come close to taking down the Bacchus, who must be building some type of physical damage there because I'm hitting him with a lot of abilities, but it's just really not cutting into him. Even my crits are only 153. So they go ahead and they tie up the score here, 15-15. But you see Chiron here still doing some damage onto the hunters, the mages, the assassins, and that's enough. That's kind of what you need to build for. But as you see, with the training exercise, clearing the minions so well, and I think it's a really good advantage to have in the beginning part of the game. You lay it down here. I've crippled the Thor. He's a little crippled right now. He's taking some Bluestone damage. He sees the Afro coming to heal me up and decides to run away. But what I love about, like I said, what I love about it is that you can apply that group assistance to your teammates and allowing them to take a little pressure off in terms of making sure the minions are clear, because one of your training exercises should take out almost the entire minion wave. And that's a really, really nice thing, especially in Arena, to not have to worry about. Because of the fact that sometimes mages are off fighting their battles, if you have no one else who can really clear a wave quickly, you're not in a good spot. As you see here, I use my Centaurus form to go ahead and look, oh, I've been killed. I stopped moving. I revived with just a bit of health. You want to rewind that and see exactly what happened, but basically, I stopped moving after I got killed, and then once I fired my third shot, I revived with such a small amount of health, the health that I killed Bacchus with, which was very, very low, and then was killed immediately again. So just telling you guys, it's good. I got myself a double kill, but obviously very, very, difficult situation to use it in when you know you're going to die. It's much better, in my opinion, to try and use it offensively, because it's a great snipe. It is a great snipe, and people are always running away, so they can't really see where you're sniping from, or where the arrow's going. So it's really good. It's really, really good. But again, it's nice to take the pressure off the training exercise. It's a great cripple, and it's a great follow-up ability. If you have a god, and hopefully you do, an arena that has, some type of setup ability, especially in the beginning of your team comp, going out against their team comp, if you have your training exercise ready to kind of follow up, it is a big deal because it's going to do a lot of damage, and it's also going to cripple those opponents, and it's going to make it so much easier for your team to follow up on a crippled opponent. I mean, that makes all the difference sometimes, and it's a really good ability for that. And now you see my number 2 applied to 4 targets at the same time. That's a 4-person 35% slow, and the damage is added to 4 people. That's pretty incredible. You see, Masterful Shot, I think, is one of the best abilities Chiron has, and one of the reasons why is because, again, it's that kill confirm. It's that thing that you hit him once with a basic attack, and because it lasts for quite a while, a few seconds, you can let your team wail on the enemy, CC the heck out of them, get them basically down, and then all of a sudden, pop your 2 again, and get that just little bit of damage that normally they would have escaped from because all of your burst is gone, but bam, you go and do it, and the arrow flies to them, killing them in the process, and you'll see that play quite a big factor in the outcome of this game. You see the Bastet aggressing onto the tier, but the cats and the damage just hurt so much, and I think people are coming towards me, so I decided to Centaurus kind of defensively there just to give myself a little bit of space and also just kind of like threaten them with some big arrows, some big lightning-looking constellation-like arrows, which, I don't know, that's pretty threatening in my eyes. I'd be threatened about that if someone was shooting those kind of arrows at me. You see the Ares getting a great pluck and some really good CC there from the Ares coming out. Just playing a great job visual. Shout out to him, man, for doing a great job as Ares in this game. Setting up so much for me to have an easy game here and to give you guys a great video. You see the Bastet being super aggressive. Not sure why. Not sure why she's so aggressive, but getting taken out by me there pretty easily with my training exercise as well. And the Chang'e looking no better. Getting taken out by me there again. Double kill going after both of them. And you just see the dash putting me in a really good position. The training exercise going right underneath. And here's the other thing about training exercise. I was thinking this was going to be more like Nox's number 2, Siphon Darkness, but actually it's so much quicker. If you land it like pretty much anywhere underneath someone, there's a good chance they're actually going to take the damage from it, which is not what I imagined. I actually thought that this was going to be really hard to hit confirm, but it's not. And so that's one of the things that I found. It's really reliable damage. It's actually unexpectedly reliable. People get surprised by this and can't move out because it happens quicker than they really can. And so that's one of the things. I don't know if it'll get nerfed, but I do know that it's really strong the way it is because of the fact that it's really hard to avoid if someone places it underneath you. Unlike Siphon Darkness, which you can move out of pretty much all the time to avoid the damage unless you're rooted into it. But the damage is really strong. It's got a lot of healing. As you see, I use my Centaurus here because I see them really grouped up. And as you notice, also, it applies, you may not have noticed, but it applies stacks of that targeter, which basically, my basic attacks and Centaurus both apply stacks that I can use for Masterful Shot. So, say I hit 2 or 3 people with Centaurus, my ultimate, I can actually then hit my number 2, and it will go to all 4 of those people, as if I had basic attacked all 4 of them. So if you want to apply a lot of, stacks of physical, not only a physical protection debuff, because that's what it does, it reduces their physical protections by 3%, but also to allow your number 2 to hit on multiple targets, Centaurus is a great way to do that. Say an Ares pull, and they're all sitting there. You throw out your training exercise, and then you throw out your Centaurus. You hit 3 times, and all of a sudden you've bursted that team so much with a full cripple, full training exercise damage, and then you've got 3 arrows from Centaurus, which as you can see do quite a bit of damage, and then you use your number 2 to finish off anyone who's still alive. I mean, sounds like a good deal to me. Chiron has some serious potential when he's able to follow up on some other abilities that some other gods are bringing to the table. Ares is a really good example. Now, this is probably one of the best compositions I think you can have with a Chiron. Some type of healer like an Aphrodite, and then some type of really hard CC setup character Guardian like Ares, because it allows him to land his training exercise, it allows him to get a basic attack off kind of for free, and then basically guarantee that Masterful Shot damage, and it also allows him to kind of giddy up pretty safely away or either into battle, when that's his number 3. The giddy up sets up a lot. You'll find that Giddy Up is a great dash, and it has a little bit of a longer range than most dashes from what I've seen. And the other interesting thing is that you can basic attack while you're dashing, which is unheard of in Smite so far. And so it's a really big advantage that he has, because dashing to a player, you can actually really just kind of almost do the job before you get there. You know, it's kind of just like a Fatalis, a straightforward Fatalis, because you have no movement speed penalty while you're going ahead and dashing. As you see there, I go ahead and pop my training exercise and use my Centaurus late. But imagine if I had just guaranteed the 3 Centaurus hits onto that group of people who had been pulled by the Ares. Training exercise, Centaurus, then use my number 2 basic attack. And I see here the Giddy Up being used super aggressively, the Bacchus stun, and the soul damage is just too much. And so actually Combat Blinks away smartly to get away. And we're down in terms of kills. We're actually up in terms of minion takes and points. But we are down in terms of kills, and they're just inching up closer to us in terms of gold. So this is a really tight game coming towards the end. Pretty much the only thing we haven't talked a lot about is Giddy Up, but the thing that you really need to know about it is that it's a great setup, and use it when you know that you have some backup. When you have backup, it's one of the best abilities. When you don't, it can kind of put you in a bad situation, because you being overly aggressive can really hurt your chances. I've used Giddy Up defensively a lot, and it's really helped me to get away. And also, if someone is attacking me and I'm in this side, I can just dash through the Bastet and basically we'll switch sides. I'll continue dashing and knock her back towards her base, and I'll be that much farther ahead of getting the safety, and that's one of the big things about it. So, you can really secure some really nice safety going on. You see the Thor almost getting taken down by my number 2 follow-up there with Masterful Shot. Yeah, my basic review for Chiron is that he's a great god. He's a really fun god, a really good beginner-friendly god, and the Transcendence Bluestone right now is the way to build him. I haven't found a better build than this, and sometimes I like to use Jotunns. I think Jotunns would be actually a good build, building him kind of like Neith, where he's an ability-powered god, because you want his abilities up as much as possible. So I could see Jotunns rather than Soul Eater helping, but I do really like Soul Eater because of the fact that it allows you to sustain in fights a little longer. If you get bursted down to half health, just wait for a minion wave and hit a couple basic attacks, and you'll be right back up to where you needed to be. The Ares going ahead and ulting, and I get a couple of key basic attacks onto the Thor to put him out of the fight. And then it's just 4 of us against Bacchus. Now, I'm expecting the dunk, come out, and it does, the Bacchus ultimate, and then the Chang'e ultimate as well. You're actually down by 4 kills right now, but the Chang'e gets bursted down by the tier a little bit, and I go ahead, use my ultimate. Can I hit her? I missed her with my first one, but my second one actually takes her down. It's 17-17. What is going to happen in this game? I'm hitting onto the Soul. She's basic attacking me. I do not want to box her, but I actually get the better of her in this turnaround of events. The Thor trying to get away, and I see the Soul going after her. I lay my training exercise down, and she actually runs away from it, not able to get it. The Chang'e aggressing, but it's not enough. I use my giddy up to get back into a better position. The Thor is ulting, and I see that. I use my beads, and I actually go ahead and turn back onto the Thor, fighting instead of running away, helping to finish him off, and I use my combat blink to get in a better position. Not sure if they're going to follow up. They've got an enemy Titan approaching us. It's 9-4, and I'm not feeling very comfortable, but the Bastet is being super aggressive. I don't think that's the best move for her, but hey, she knows what to do. She's doing her gameplay. I'm doing mine. Let's see what comes out on top. This is the last moment of the game. It's 8-3. What's going to happen? Our Titan is being escorted down, and we have some opportunities here to go and aggress. The Ares is actually only at 40% though. It's 8-2. We've only got to do so much. 1 kill will do it. You see the training exercise come out, but it misses. The tier stun and then dash into me, and I use my number 2 to actually secure the kill there. And actually, Masterful Shot goes ahead and takes the win for us because of the tier dash, whatever you call that thing. Someone tell me the name because I forgot it. I'll probably look it up after this. But tier takes her out of the fight into me. I hit 1 basic attack, which actually crits for 500, putting her in a bad position. She jumps out, and any other god in the game probably would not have been able to secure that kill unless it was a Neith. But I actually am able to use just my normal ability number 2 to clean up that kill and get a 16-3, an 11 Chiron score, and a victory. You see here 31-31 kills, 81-84 assists, 77-79 goals. I mean, this is insane. What an evenly matched game. This was so much fun to play. And just the damage is unreal. 58,715 damage. By far the highest damage in the game. About 3,000 ahead of Soul even. And about 30,000 ahead of most other people in the game. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this God Guide. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe if you want to stay tuned to more action here on Raynday Gaming. And as always, guys, never give up, never stop gaming. And I'll see you all next time.